10 a.m., even as they go clause by clause in that 87 clause Finance Bill 2023. We'll definitely keep you updated once it starts. But right now we want to shift focus to matters happening online. What exactly are Kenyans talking about? What's trending? I'm joined by Caroline Obuya. It's a pleasure to have you with us. It's great to see you. And I have a copy of Kenya's Bold newspaper, The Standard, right here. And one of the stories touches on senators who are set to file ascension motion on CS Kuria, all to do with some of the disparaging remarks he made recently that many argue it's unbefitting of someone holding such a position, a cabinet secretary. So what exactly are Kenyans picking out in terms of the back and forth between the cabinet secretary and some members of the Fourth Estate?
Just the utterances by the CS, Moses Kuria, have continued to, form talk for the past 3 days or so. And we've seen different groups and Kenyans coming in to strongly, condemn those utterances. We saw the president of the Kenya Editors Guild, Zubeida Kananu, coming out to strongly condemn this incident, saying that, he wants the CS and the other political class in general to know that wanahabari sio adui. That's what Zubeida said. And in English, of course, for those who don't understand Swahili, it means that the journalists are not your enemies. So we have seen different groups of people coming to condemn this incident. We had groups from civil society groups. We had Haki Africa. We had Amnesty Kenya. We had Paralegal Network. We had Kenya Human Rights. They have all come together, and other groups, they have all come together to condemn this instance, and they all say in unison that the CS actually should withdraw the statements and apologize. So far, we have not seen that from the CS, Moses Kuria. He's gone on rant after rant. He's not, backtracking on his utterances. He's continued with the spat. So, but there are, like you said, there's a group that plans to take this to court so that the CS can be declared unfit to hold office. Kenyans are weighing in and saying that clearly, the CS's utterances communicate to, they say, they are meant to interfere with the work of independent institutions in this country, and he should be stopped. And other Kenyans are saying that the media, the CS should be condemned in all terms, with all terms, strongest terms possible. He is ashamed to the UDA regime and the women in general. So basically, those are the sentiments that are going on online following the utterances by the CS, Jess.
Okay, but as a member of the Fourth Estate, it would be proper to get your view, because I mean, our work is to be the voice of the voiceless, perhaps, to highlight some of the inadequacies in government, even as we praise their efforts in terms of what they've been able to achieve. So it's a difficult balancing line there. And right now we have a regime which has time and time again mentioned that, some sections of the media were campaigning against us. So at the end of the day, perhaps just speak to members of the public in terms of the balance that members of the press have to play when it comes to, articulating the misses in the government, but, at times equally patting them on the back when they do the right job, because we don't only criticize, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, like you said, the members of the Fourth Estate are there. Our work is to, educate, entertain, inform. So basically, whatever we are doing, the expose that was, exposed by our sister station is informing, is telling the country, this is what your country looks like. This is what is going on. We are not holding anything back. So, by the CS attacking the media in the manner in which it did, it is seen to be, a way of gagging the media a way of silencing the media so that it does not perform its role of, informing, educating, and letting people know what is going in the country. Because if the media was not performing its role, then probably it could be a banana republic. We could not be having the Kenya we are having now. The Kenya we are having now, part of it is because the media is playing its role. So the narrative that is being propagated. Of course, the Kenya Kwanza has propagated that narrative that the media largely supported, the Azimio during the campaigns, and they have continued to hold that, against the media. Really, it does not hold water. The media is doing its job, and let the media do its job independently.
Yeah, so when we criticize, we're not members of the opposition in simple terms. But of course, a lot has been said about this whole issue. But at the end of the day, touching on the purse strings of media houses would definitely be a move in the wrong direction for the Kenya Kwanza administration. Now, look, I'm not too good with proper Swahili, but I understand there's been a trend around a Swahili word that has been associated with the cabinet secretary in one way or the other on social media. What exactly is this about?
Yes, I was learning about the word for the first time. I heard it on our sister TV, NTV, and the word is mpiaro. I've never heard it. It was the first time I was hearing about it. And Mpiaro was trending alongside Moses Kuria. It was trending alongside, Nation, Aga Khan. And Mpiaro means a person who is conditioned to using vulgar language. An example was given by NTV, how you can use it in a sentence. So Kenyans have weighed in, they're really using that name, and they're weighing in using emojis and GIFs. Some of them are saying, Mpiaro, in a sentence, Mpiaro, toa lock, urudi soko. So there's so many memes just that have come out from this name Mpiaro that was, the Kenyans say it's associated with the CS following is, vulgar utterances, because Mpiaro basically means that a person who is conditioned to using vulgar language in his speech. So basically, the name Mpiaro is still trending, and it's not about to go away until maybe people stop using vulgar language in their communication.
Well, it's interesting. The comical relief that at times we get while on Twitter, trust Kenyans on Twitter. Well, definitely, just to inform our viewers that we're still monitoring the developments happening in Parliament, even as we expect them to resume, the Committee of the Whole House to resume in just but a few. They were supposed to resume by 9:30 in terms of the voting around the Finance Bill 2023. As of yesterday, they had covered 24 clauses, so they're supposed to continue with the interrogation, whether to amend or not, and the voting process clause by clause. We'll definitely keep you updated once that particular process starts. But back to whatever we're talking about, Caroline, and the other issue right now is all to do with the Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja. I understand there were tears of joy, or is it premium tears, that happened yesterday. Tell us more about it.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yesterday we had the President, William Ruto, launched the Nairobi School Feeding Program, dubbed Dishi na County. He was in Roysambu. He was accompanied by the Governor of Nairobi County, Johnson Sakaja. He was also accompanied by Nairobi Woman Representative, Esther Passaris. So this program, as the President says, is fulfilling one of his campaign pledges that he made during the campaigns, and it really means something to him. This is something that they're doing across the country in partnership with the county governments. So Johnson Sakaja was among the keynote speakers in this program, and he says that Nairobi is often overlooked when it comes to, allocation of funds during, the interventions for famine and drought in the country. And Nairobi is always looked at as this rich county, and it's overlooked, you know, despite the levels of poverty and, you know, such like challenges that face it, it's often overlooked. But one thing that caught people's eyes is that in the midst of all this, you know, when he went on and on to explain, he found himself emotional. He started crying, you know, he was wiping his tears, and we saw even a lady coming to console him. Why was he crying? He said that in one of his visits to the schools, when you talk about food to the children and you look at their faces, the look on their faces really brings you sadness, and really that really caught him, and he started sobbing. And so that was really an emotional moment for him, and he said that you know, this program will help, and you know, it's going to put a smile on the children's faces as they can feed, they can be finally be able to feed. Kenyans, of course, will always weigh in, and in hilarious ways, some in serious ways. And so those who are weighing in are saying that is Sakaja coming up from abroad? Wasn't he a senator in this country, you know, in the previous government? Did the tears have to wait until the, you know, school feeding lunch program for him to, you know, to start crying? So they're telling him to spare the tears. Others are saying, you know, like Sakaja is a good student of his master. You know, we have seen President William Ruto there before breaking different forums, and then they feel that Sakaja is really a good student of his master. Others are saying that, you know, this whole program, they actually don't feel it. Being the Kenya that they know and what is happening and all the exposés that are going on, they feel that this is one of those, you know, many ways that people are looking to steal money. It's a scandal in their offing. Wanasema, you know, stories are jaba, PR tupu, you know. So some of such are the statements that are coming out of, you know, netizens following that incident and the launch of the food program at Resambu yesterday. Jess.
Well, I think we should give credit where it's due at the end of the day. So far, in terms of the school feeding program being started and being implemented in various schools within Nairobi County, they deserve a pat on the back. And I think we had the president mentioning and echoing to the other 46 governors, you know, to kickstart such an initiative in order to, you know, be in line with his manifesto, whatever he had promised around school feeding program. But at the end of the day, of course, Kenyans were milking in terms of comical relief. But away from that, I'd like us to talk about something still that featured during that particular meeting where the president was present. I understand the Nairobi woman representative Esther Pesaris was able to clarify her stand on the finance bill. And just to remind Kenyans, last week we saw various members of parliament actually cross the party line, the party stance, where they had been told vote this way when it comes to the finance bill. Just to mention a few, Gathoni wa Mushomba of Githunguri crossing over to the Nairobi woman rep Esther Pesaris, who voted in favor of the finance bill. And what exactly did she say was the reasoning behind her voting, even though we've had ODM has installed, you know, disciplinary processes in terms of those errant members of parliament who voted against the party stand?
Esther Pesaris Muthoni, the women rep of Nairobi, of course, took people by surprise with her choice of supporting the finance bill 2023. The people did not see that coming. Why? Because she is a staunch supporter of, you know, ODM. She's a member of ODM, a staunch supporter of Baba. And so when she made that choice to support, you know, the finance bill 2023, it sort of came as a surprise to many of her followers and the larger, you know, ODM family and Azimio coalition at large. Esther Pesaris says that one of the issues they want to deal with in Nairobi is the issue of housing. And when President Ruto brought the Finance Bill 2023, and of course that people need to pay to own homes, she feels that that is one way of taking care of that issue of the housing issue in Nairobi, and that's why she chose to support the Finance Bill 2023. So there is been word going on online saying that Esther Passaris, they're not speaking with Baba. She's not even, Baba is not picking the phone calls, and there's no basically phone conversation and such like things. But Esther Passaris came out to clarify that she is solidly in ODM. She supports Azimio. It's just that she had a different stand that she feels will help the Nairobi residents, which she is woman repping, in taking care of housing. So she asked people online to ignore the fake, memes that are being propagated, the fake messages that she's fallen out with the party leader. She says she supports Raila Odinga 100%. She is behind the party and she is in ODM and Azimio. But on this one, she chose to support, the Finance Bill 2023. It should not be misconstrued that she's moved on to Kenya Kwanza or any other side. So Kenyans are weighing in, of course, most of them being supporters of Azimio and saying that Kitamuramba. So basically that is what is going on online regarding that incident, her choice to support the Finance Bill 2023. Yes.
Well, we expect more insights around the Finance Bill, even as we've mentioned to our audience that the voting is supposed to continue today, all to do with whether to pass those various clauses as they are or they want to amend. Well, let's hope what Kenyans will be saying henceforth around the Finance Bill will be, of value, even as they make comical relief around some of the decisions.